Welcome to the end of a wild trading week. It is Friday morning. We are sitting here on the 13th, Friday the 13th, that's scary in itself, of May 2022 at 8:35 a.m. Central Time. Now, you woke up this morning to hearing the gameplay and I'll stay away from the futures for a minute because this is a financial market video. Elon Musk, new Twitters, on hold, checking spamming accounts, so on and so forth. This reminds me of the play that happened between LVMH and Tiffany, which I was very close to as my wife works for Tiffany. And I was watching that and I said, you know, all it is about getting money at the last amount down as the purchaser. And that's what it turned out to be there. And guess what? That's what I think's here. Now, you had a big break in that. And if it were me, I had told you if you were buying the stock, you had to write calls. Well, you probably had a good amount of insurance that collapsed on that call, maybe got most of your money actually in great shape. Probably have people lifting some of those hedges today, and then they'll put them back out as the news comes out more. In the stock market, an up day. The dollar stable, but a lot of currencies getting a bounce today. You can see that's happening in the Canadian, the Swiss franc, and so on. Folks, it's a bounce. I don't see it as being a big change one way or the other. I'm getting nervous that parity talks are happening in the euro. That could be a game there. I want you to look at the price of heating oil, but you really want to look at gasoline. You're at an all-time high in the futures. Guess what? Next week, Gas Buddy's going to be telling you prices running through the roof again. Notice how the bonds and notes have suddenly collapsed back in. I mentioned yesterday that you were getting a safety haven play of buying of bonds, buying of the yen, buying of the dollar. But the fundamentals haven't changed in the bonds and notes. The Fed's going to go ahead in June with a 50-point hike. They're going to go ahead in July with the 50-point hike. I think the odds are very strong they're going to do it in September. They're going to get the Fed number ahead of the inflation number. The dream would be to get down to 4% inflation. Forget what President Biden's saying at 2%. The man's living in some other world that I don't know. That isn't going to happen anytime soon. You're looking at energy prices taking off to the upside. They are all staying on the strong end there. Let me stay with the grains for a moment here. In the grain market, I just saw that Ukraine said that they're unable to get much more than 1.5 million tons a month out of their exports out because of the sea blockade and the like. They have to go by land. Keep your eye on that. The European Union is getting very frustrated with the naval blockade where they can't get food out of Ukraine that has to go to other parts of the world. I don't know that they'll do anything about it, but that's to be watched. You're starting to see some cracks develop. Senator Rand Paul, stopped yesterday the $40 billion vote on giving money to the Ukraine. Not that he doesn't want to give it. You've got to read what it is. What it is he wants an overseer. Is the money going as it should be going? We're writing these massive checks. Where is the control over what's happening? I don't know that he's that wrong on that. Give the money. I'm all for that. Let them fight the battle. Give them the way to do it. But make sure it's going to the right places. And don't bury it where in a war it gets buried. It takes months to get it done. I don't know how you do all that. I'm not claiming I do. I understand the concept. Nothing helps the gold market or the silver market. Now, copper's interesting today. Let me explain why. First, maybe we should look at some of the numbers. Import-export numbers, up 2.9%. They only expected up 0.6%, so it's only 5 times the amount they were looking for. The April export prices were up 0.6. Prior month was up 1, not bad there. April non-petroleum, and these are the exports, up 0.4. I don't see that. I think they're talking the export there. And petroleum prices were down 2.9%. Forget that. You're going to see that number takes off by what's going on right now. University of Michigan consumer sentiment at 9. It's expected to be lower. Euro. When we go to Europe, we see the industrial output down 1.8% on the month versus a forecasted decline of 1%. You know what they're feeling. Now, China made an announcement, and this is what relates to copper, and I'm surprised copper's not bouncing, so there's more to this announcement that meets the eye, that the Shanghai lockdown will take place and end It's going to be the end of it on May 20th. If that's the case, Dr. Copper should have come alive. Copper's the market that always looks at industrial demand, see if it's coming alive. It's not. There's more to this statement than meets the eye. And here's Ukraine talking about that 1.5 million tons of agricultural products a month going out. So you look at the markets, we got down in the bear territory again in the breaks. The market came back from the brink, so what? If you really take a look at the weekly charts on the stock market, they were under and are under the lower Bollinger Bands. I don't think you attract all kinds of new money going into a weekend under a Bollinger Band. So I'm looking for a bounce, but I'm looking for a feeble bounce, not a turnaround in the market. Not this is a market that, hey, that was it, the game's over. Not in any manner. But, you know, we get the chance to talk about all that over the weekend because here we are at Linn and we're writing our market reports. So unlike so many firms that got to wait for the staff to come back on Monday to write reports, our staff works on the weekend to give you, especially the grain markets. You want to keep up with what's going on there, the financials, where we see things moving. We're going to give you the commitment of traders reports, tell you how we're reviewing what that is, option strategies, spread strategies, everything you need in the futures markets to help you make better decisions. It's not free. It's free to our clients. It's not free to you if you're not a client of mine. But when you do buy my research or you have a trading account with it, boom, it's included. So how do you get to see this before you make that decision? Well, that's the easy part of this. To get your free offer, either give us a call. We'll put you right on the mailing list. You'll start getting it immediately. Or just take your cursor right now. If you're on a computer screen, move it up to the top here. You'll see an icon. When you see that icon, give it a click. You can sign up for our other offers as well, our charting software, access to my research, things of that nature. I'm Ira Epstein. Have a great weekend. Remember, I will be putting out the weekend update of my end-of-the-day market wrap-ups. I don't know if it'll be today or tomorrow, but it'll be one of the 2 days. You have yourself a great weekend. I'll see you at that time. Take care.